What's poppin', everybody? This is Tom and Joey Entertainment. I am Joey, and welcome back to The Realest News. This is a weekly video where Tom and I keep it real and keep you informed on the most important news stories going on all around the world. And speaking of, I'm joined, as always, by Tom. Tom, what is happening?
What is happening, Joey? I am completely ready for this week's hot takes.
Hot takes! Now we're going to introduce kind of a new format to the series today. We're going to talk about two different stories, and we're also going to introduce our segment centered around the news going on in the video game and technology world. For our main story today, we want to discuss the House Intelligence Committee hearing that went on involving the NSA Director, Mike Rogers, and the FBI Director, James Comey. Now, two big revelations came from these hearings, and we're going to look at them individually, but I will let FBI Director James Comey explain the first one.
I have been authorized by the Department of Justice to confirm that the FBI, as part of our counterintelligence mission, is investigating the Russian government's efforts to interfere in the 2016 presidential election. And that includes investigating the nature of any links between individuals associated with the Trump campaign and the Russian government, and whether there was any coordination between the campaign and Russia's efforts.
So not only did FBI Director James Comey confirm that the FBI is currently investigating whether the Russian government meddled with our election process, he also confirmed that the FBI is investigating hard ties between the Trump campaign and the Russian government, involving the collusion between the two in order to defeat Hillary Clinton back in November. So Tom, I asked you the question, do you think that Russia interfered with the electoral process in general, like interfered with voting numbers, or do you think that they just interfered in the way that they were releasing information and conducting themselves in such a way that they were heavily supporting Trump and trying their best to get Hillary defeated?
There's no doubt in my mind that they had some sort of influence,
Yeah.
whether that be like tangible votes. I don't think so. I mean, I don't think there was any like rigging of voting machines and that sort of thing, you know what I mean? But I definitely think that they leaked information that created doubt in people's heads and made them not want to vote for Hillary, and then they said, well, okay, well, I'll vote against her then.
Yeah, and that's my thing. I couldn't agree more. I don't think that any country really has the potential to interfere and hack our electoral process to the point where they could actually change voter count and voter numbers in certain states, like swing states, for instance. But as you said, I mean, I don't think that there is any doubt in my mind, especially with the way, I mean, WikiLeaks will deny it that they had any collusion with the Russian government. But you just look at the way, I mean, I followed them on Twitter, and you just look at the way they conducted themselves before the actual election day came. Every single tweet was about something else they found in the emails, to the point where they were even trying to peddle this conspiracy that John Podesta, Hillary's campaign manager, was actually part of this satanic cult, and that he worshipped Satan and worshipped the devil, and they tried to draw this conclusion just from these emails. I mean, they just stretched for so many straws, and the way they conducted themselves with so towards Hillary and really releasing no information whatsoever that's damning to Donald Trump. I mean, it's kind of hard to not, at least from an outsider's perspective,
be skeptical.
Yeah, it's almost impossible not to think that WikiLeaks in some sort of way was working with Russia.
I understand people's kind of knee-jerk reaction to be like, oh, WikiLeaks released this, like these are all right. But for me, like, as an average citizen, it's like, well, I'm just getting this random information from this random source. Like, I don't know who they are. I don't know where they're coming from. I don't know who this person is. And I can't tell what's real and what's fake. There's a ton of people posting fake WikiLeaks articles that people just assumed were true. I think it's a dangerous game to play where you have someone that's literally telling you that we're leaking confidential information, and you're just okay with it, saying, oh, well, look at what Hillary Clinton did. But it's like, what happens when WikiLeaks is leaking information that you don't want to see anymore, right? What happens when they go a little bit too far? So there's kind of a different argument too of like, where do we draw the line with like, oh, well, they're leaking information, but it's helping my campaign, so okay, whatever. I mean, I really would like to think that even anyone, as crazy whatever party they are, wouldn't stoop to that level.
Regardless of what your party is, I mean, it's a foreign country interfering with our election. I mean, even if you're a Trump supporter, even if you're the most intense right side conservative or the most intense left side liberal, you want to be able to say that you won the election and you won over the country on merit. And then you look at, like you said, Trump's previous statements. You look at during that press conference where he literally called to Russia and asked them to uncover Hillary Clinton's deleted emails.
He asked them, oh gosh, he asked them to do something.
Yeah.
So it's like, you're telling me that he isn't like communicating with them somehow? Like, why would he ask them? Of all the people on earth, why them?
Yeah, exactly. And then you look at Trump's constant praise for Putin to say that, I mean, he's a great leader, he's a strong leader, he's a better leader than President Obama was, and the fact that, I mean, he constantly says, like, oh, wouldn't it be so bad to work with Russia? Wouldn't it be so bad to want to cooperate with Russia?
Wouldn't it be great if we got along with them?
Yeah,
right.
But we haven't got along with them ever since the end of World War II, really, because we went to the Cold War, and then after the Cold War, I mean, tensions have really never simmered between our two countries.
And there's a reason. Like, this
exactly.
isn't like, oh, some petty little fight. Like, there's a reason why we've had this tension. That doesn't just go away.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll see, though. I mean, they're investigating it, so that's all we can really go off of.
Really, from a standpoint of what James Comey was saying in his first statement, was that for the first time ever, the President of the United States, it's not like he's not like he's a candidate anymore. He's not still running a campaign. He's been in office for 3 months, and they're launching an official federal investigation into whether his campaign committed espionage with the Russian government. If he were to do something, or if he had collusion with Russia during the campaign, the charge for that is treason. Another just bad crazy thing to me that got tucked under the rug. I mean, he didn't mention it in the video, but he mentioned it later on in the intelligence hearing. They've been really investigating, not necessarily investigating Trump campaign and their collusion with Russia, but they've been investigating whether Russia had the capability or was actively interfering with our campaign or our election since July. But this is the first time we've heard about it, and this is March of 2017. But then you look back at that last month before the election, and when James Comey released that letter when they were reopening their investigation in Hillary Clinton's emails because Anthony Weiner sent a dick pic. They open up this investigation to look into his computer and make this big announcement, this formal letter to Congress, announce it to the entire world that they're reopening the investigation. But little do we know, they've been investigating Russia since July, but then, just casually haven't brought that up. So the second revelation that came from the intelligence hearings, we will go back to Director James Comey.
With respect to the president's tweets about alleged wiretapping directed at him by the prior administration, I have no information that supports those tweets, and we have looked carefully inside the FBI. The Department of Justice has asked me to share with you that the answer is the same for the Department of Justice and all its components. The department has no information that supports those tweets.
Now I know what you're thinking. How the can we be talking about tweets on Capitol Hill in a federal investigation hearing? But just wait. It gets even better. You have to check out this interaction between Senator Hines and Director James Comey.
Got a tweet from the president an hour ago saying the NSA and FBI tell Congress that Russia did not influence the electoral process. So that's not quite accurate, that tweet.
I'm sorry, I haven't been following anybody on Twitter while I've been sitting here.
Is the tweet, as I read it to you, the NSA and FBI tell Congress that Russia did not influence the electoral process. Is that accurate?
Well, it's hard for me to react to that. Let me just tell you what we understand the state of what we've said is. We've offered no opinion, have no view, have no information on potential impact because it's never something that we looked at.
So first off, I just find that whole interaction absolutely hilarious because you look at Mike Rogers, the director of the NSA, you look at his face when he's first asked the question about the tweet, and his face is just like, he has got his mouth open just, wait, what the did you just ask me? Did you just ask me about a tweet?
Is this my kid who got in trouble at school and I'm at the principal's office talking about his Twitter account?
Yeah, but yet, no, it's the President of the United States live tweeting a House Intelligence Committee hearing. I mean, it's just hilarious to me when you look at Comey's face and Rogers' face, the fact that they have to now respond to tweets. And I mean, you hear Director Comey, he's just like, I'm sorry, I don't have my phone here. I'm not following anybody on Twitter currently. Apologies for not checking if the President of the United States is live tweeting the Intelligence House Committee hearing.
Yeah, that was my bad.
My fault. So aside from the hilarious reactions from Director Comey and Director Rogers, my question to you is, now that the FBI director has confirmed without a doubt that there is no evidence to support Trump's wiretapping claim, do you think that maybe somehow Trump admits that he was wrong and comes out and maybe, God only knows, an apology, but do you think that Trump continues the way he acts on Twitter, or do you think that maybe this could be the one thing, since it's federally proven by the head of the FBI that there's no evidence for it, do you think that he'll finally start, maybe not stepping away from Twitter completely, but at least easing back?
I mean, I guess I could see him getting away from Twitter, because I remember during the campaign, his campaign, I don't think it was Kellyanne Conway, I think it was someone else in the campaign, but they suspended him from Twitter. That is absolutely absurd, but you know what? They might do it again, because he's a loose cannon, and these claims that he's making, especially the wiretapping, like what happens when those things are completely out of left field and they harm people on his side, not just on the other side. That's where I'm kind of curious to see where this goes. And I think when that happens, then his Twitter's going to go out the window.
Yeah, and to me, like, the Twitter comes down to really two things. I mean, pressure was heavy with him on Russia, with the healthcare plan just getting absolutely on. A lot of pressure was on him, so he just tweeted this out of nowhere late at night about this wiretapping claim that based around no evidence. But yet, here we are conducting a official federal hearing, and they've already conducted investigations into this wiretapping claim. They're spending taxpayer dollars to conduct these hearings, these investigations, on something that Trump just tweeted out of nowhere late at night. Obama is golfing in Hawaii. There wasn't even any sniffs of this going around. This was just complete, like you said, completely out of left field. And the fact that he tweets something, yep, we have to commit resources, we have to conduct these hearings, we have to conduct these investigations. It's done deal because he tweeted that, so now it's official because, you know, the entire world reads his Twitter feed. My biggest problem with Trump, we've said it before in this series, and we'll say it again, or we're going to say it a lot more times in the future. Obviously, we're not big fans of Trump. We don't look at Trump in a negative way, in the way of personality characteristics, like he's racist, misogynist, Islamophobic. We don't look at those type of personality traits because that doesn't reflect what actually happens in terms of legislature and thing that's actually going to affect the country and affect the world. But what I do look at, and really one of the things that I dislike most about Trump, is everything to do with Twitter. Like, as crazy as that sounds, especially when he's making these vague threats about North Korea behaving badly, and
that's not the place, man.
And then,
like, this isn't a joke. This isn't a game. This isn't high school.
Yeah, and then like 2 or 3 weeks after he won the election, he tweeted that threat to Iran. It's like, bro, you cannot tweet these threats at countries as the president of the United States. If you're in Mar-a-Lago golfing as a business leader and a business billionaire, that's one thing. No one gives a shit. But if you're the president of the United States and you're tweeting things that are riddled with spelling errors, by the way, for no reason whatsoever,
and still golfing in Mar-a-Lago.
While he's going from ball to ball on his golf cart, he's tweeting these threats to Iran and North Korea.
Like, hey guys, check this out, Steve.
Steve,
I'm gonna post it.
Check this out. Iran's gonna be so
Steve, Donnie, you gotta stop. No, dude, I'm gonna do it. I can do whatever I want, dude.
I'm the president. I do whatever I want. He tweeted at Snoop Dogg, our president of the United States. Tweeted at Snoop Doggy Dog.
Snoop D-O-double-G, man.
Snoop Lion or Snoop or King Dog or whatever his name is
he's
now.
Going by. Shout out to Snoop though. Yeah. Snoop is dope.
Yeah, Snoop's a friend of the show. Snoop's a friend of the show.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We talk all the time. Yeah. We're gonna have him on sometime.
Yeah. So sometime soon. And finally, for our technology segment, we are going to discuss the brand new game that everyone is excited for. One of the most anticipated games of the year, and that is Mass Effect Andromeda. Mass Effect Andromeda is a action RPG developed by BioWare and published by Electronic Arts. Now, the reason why we wanted to discuss Mass Effect Andromeda is because although it was one of the most anticipated games of the year, it is getting constantly on by every reviewer. IGN gave it a 7.7, Metacritic gave it a 77, and GameSpot gave it a measly 6. So Tom, I just want to discuss with you, this has got me thinking. A game like Mass Effect Andromeda, hugely anticipated game, tons of money, and just for people who aren't familiar with the lingo, when we say AAA, it means a developer with lots and lots of that sweet, sweet cash. They take that money and invest it into their game. So, I mean, an example of a AAA studio would be like Activision with Call of Duty. I mean, obviously Call of Duty makes boatloads of money, and they're able to successfully put that back into the game to make these incredible games that they do. So really, Tom, I just want to talk to you about, it doesn't really have anything to do with Mass Effect Andromeda because we're going to get it, we're going to play, we're going to make videos for y'all, no matter what the reviews are. But does your video game buying experience and like what games you buy really come down to the reviews? Are there like a certain websites that you go to review specifically, or do you kind of just take them all in kind of like a big pot and just kind of feel everything out? Or do you just completely disregard reviews altogether?
And I capital F-U-C-K reviews. I don't give two flying fucks about any review, about any sort of, because everything you do and you like is so opinionated. Music, movies, video games, so much of it. You could love the out of some video game and everyone else hates it, but for whatever reason you love it. It's just that's for you. It could be so like out of left field, or you could love a game that everyone likes as well. I mean, whatever, right? But I mean, I can understand like some people might review it and just say like, oh, like I didn't know that you could do this in this game, so that looks really appealing to me. But like, oh, Mass Effect, it could get a 2 and it wouldn't change my opinion. Like a perfect example was Forza Horizon. The first one, I didn't even know what it was, and I just bought it because it looked kind of cool, and I loved it, and instantly became my favorite racing game of all time. So when Forza Horizon 2 came out, I was like, I'm gonna get it. And then it did pretty well review wise. I mean, I think it got like a 9 out of 10. I mean, I wouldn't know because I don't pay attention, but I know like on the box it'll say like, oh yeah, like 9 out of 10 on blah blah blah, GameSpot, GameFire, rental, me bullshit. And so I'm like, okay, yeah, that's cool. People get so picky about stupid things that I don't care about. So I'm like, sweet, you gave it a 7 out of 10 because this guy's left pinky was bigger in the second cutscene and it wasn't the same size. And this one's a little bit tanner. Did you see that shadow? There was a shadow coming from 2 ways. Oh my God, this game sucks balls.
Yeah, and obviously we forgot to mention one of the biggest digs on Mass Effect, and the reason why so many people are all over it is because the main dig on it is this animation problem that this game has apparently, where like the eyes and the mouth don't line up with what they're saying, or like they kind of look dead behind the eyes and they're dead faces. And sometimes I've seen a GIF a few times where some of the characters got like the crab walk going on, or they got like bent legs, and obviously the game wasn't designed to do that. I'm indifferent when it comes to reviews. There's some games where, I mean, for FIFA, for instance, Call of Duty, those 2 games, those are almost like review proof. No Man's Sky, back when it came out for PS4, I was so jacked about it. It looked so cool. All the trailers, all the descriptions of the games, so dope. But then I was like, I don't know, I'm hearing this kind of like iffy talk about it, and it kind of looks repetitive and it kind of looks a little boring. And I waited for the review, and it came out, and IGN gave it a 6, and I was like, okay, that's pretty bad. All these other companies started to come out with these reviews, so I decided not to get it, and it was well worth it because it came out that they were even refunding people who bought No Man's Sky because of false promises and the game just straight up not working. They had bugs that couldn't even make the game runnable. As long as the gameplay is solid and the multiplayer is fun, that's all I give a shit about. For games I'm on the fence on, I pay attention to for sure, especially with IGN, Metacritic, and GameSpot. There's certain games where I will just put the blinders on and not give a shit and buy it just because I want to.
Pushing kids in line at GameStop on your way in, saying, "Get out of my way!"
Exactly.
I want to get the new Call of Duty.
Call of Duty. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. There are opinions on the House Intel hearings from Monday, March 20th, and our thoughts on Mass Effect Andromeda and game reviews in general. If you have opinion about the House hearings, if you have opinion about game reviews, Mass Effect Andromeda, or if you just want to talk to us, who gives a shit? Please let us know in the comment section below. As always, we love to hear from you.
Yeah, we'll talk about your cat if you want.
Yeah. I'm done with talking cats. As always, if you liked the video, go ahead and give it a like underneath that video and hit that subscribe button if you want us to come back and see more videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And as always, I'm Joey.
And I'm Tom.
We'll see y'all next time. Peace.